Hi!
You had me at hello.
Did you say hello?
No, I said hello, but that's close enough.
Hello there.
Hello. My name's Forrest Gump.
Hello.
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 Hello!
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello!
Hello!
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the one nostalgic movies of 90s review show. I am, of course, your podcast mogul, Phil Better, and with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, the man who knows more pop culture fiction than anybody else in the world. Aaron Talks Film. Aaron, how are you doing?
Hold on, I just need to climb down from that pedestal that you keep putting me on.
The pedestal gets higher and higher, brother. Every week.
Yeah, no, like it's. I live for compliments. I live for that adulation. I really do. Otherwise, I wouldn't do stuff like this. But every time it's like, oh, Phil, stop, please, just this. Like, but yeah, I'm good. Very good. Down off that pedestal. I'm good. It's
yeah, you're rocking the TikTok, your alternate TikTok account. You're killing it. Fuck,
yes.
I'm getting big on that. I love that. Pop every once in a while in. But if you follow Aaron Talks Film on TikTok, which you should be able to link over to his other account. I will not give that other account any more promotion because it's already bigger than my TikTok account and I can't stand it. Mind you, you do a lot more work on your TikTok than I do.
Yeah, you do actual work when it comes to like the podcast and stuff.
Yeah,
your actual business.
I have things to do. I have a business.
Yeah, but I'm just bored during the day, so I'll go on TikTok.
You act out meme. You act out things.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm drinking from a new cup today. It's the TWS Sports Podcast. Yes, they sent me a care package. You probably could see it on one of my social medias. I think it's on Instagram. But they sent me a package, so I got this mug that I love, that I'll drink from it on this podcast. But they are a sports podcast in the UK, hosted by autistic students, and it's an amazing show, and it's great. They get sports legends, UK sports legends, man. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, they've gotten the Olympic athletes. They've had some sports related people on, like the author of Jaws, a former president of Walt Disney World Resorts on. Like, they've been getting some massive people. They've been invited to a movie premiere by one of their guests, so they were out there, so that was like fantastic. They're doing amazing. These kids, I love just being associated with them, and like the teacher reaches out to me every once in a while. I'm like, hey, what do you need? And he's asking questions, and I'm shooting back and forth for him. And so like the confidence level that podcasting has brought these kids, like the kids do all the work. He only hits record, and they do the research, do questions, do the whole production value of it like that. So that is like insane what they're doing. So
that's incredible.
Shout out to the boys over at the TWS Sports Podcast. Thank you so much for the mug. I got this nice little a wooden coaster that sits on it. I got stickers. Nice. I got so much stuff. I love it. Actually, their sticker is the first sticker I ever put on my laptop. I usually like my laptops like clean, but I'm like, you know what? Rocking the TWS, my boys. So there's that.
My side of the podcast is being sponsored by this pink cup with my juice in it. That is my cup that I keep. No one else touches that. So yeah, that's my side of the podcast.
There you go. That's what. That's. Yeah. I have a UK sponsor. You got a pink cup sponsor.
Yes, that's my special pink cup.
There we go. Aaron, we're talking about a movie that you told me beforehand that you had no idea any of the rules or regulations of this sport.
I know enough from pop culture. Like, I've watched a lot of movies that have American football in it, or as the Americans call it, American football.
We call it football. It's
I know that. I thought of that joke earlier, and I thought, I wonder if I can land that. But yeah,
it worked. I'm sorry, I ruined it.
I know enough about the sport that I can follow it, but it's the stopping and start. Like I've tried to watch a football game. Like a couple of years ago, I watched the Super Bowl because I wanted to watch the movie trailers in between.
Yeah.
So I stayed up to watch the Super Bowl, and it was enjoyable. It's the stopping and starting that I don't like. It's they go like every few yards and then they kind of stop. Like I think it's just that I don't enjoy.
The momentum, it keeps getting broken for you. Like,
Yeah,
unlike
basically,
European football, which is commonly referred to as soccer in North America, but I call it European football when I'm talking to non-Europeans. And like, I love it. I work with a German guy, and I'm like, yeah, so football. And he's like, you mean soccer? I'm like, yeah, football. Like, I'm talking to a European. When I say football, I mean soccer. When I'm talking to an American or a North American, I'm saying football. It means, American style football. And if I'm talking about actual football, I say soccer to them because they're dumb. But yeah, it's the momentum. Like, I fully understand.
Yeah. No, but like I say, I get enough of the game where I can follow it in a movie, because it's really weird. Like, this movie actually starts with a game. Like, it just jumps straight in, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And it lasts for like 30 minutes, and it's like the game, and it's sort of building up the suspense of what this team's going through. They're in a losing streak, a 3-game losing streak, and this would be the 4th, and sort of where they are, and the troubles that they have to go through to carry on and get something out of their season. So it just jumps straight in, and it just hits you straight in the face with this sport. So yeah, if I knew nothing about American football, it would have been a lot harder to kind of keep up with. But luckily, I know enough from other pop culture stuff and other movies that I could follow it enough to know what was going on. So yeah, I mean, you asked me before we started, you said, what did you think? And I said, it was fine. The movie's pretty good. Like, it's an enjoyable movie. I can't say I'd ever watch it again, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
They have a really great cast. So I'm going to, if you don't know,
huge.
we're reviewing Any Given Sunday, the 1999. As they like to say, here's this is what IMDb, a behind-the-scenes look at the life and death struggles of a modern-day gladiators and those who lead them. Directed by Oliver Stone, written by Daniel Payne, John Logan, and obviously Oliver Stone. It has an all-star cast. We have Al Pacino, the great, Dennis Quaid, Cameron Diaz, James Wood, who we're not going to touch on, Jamie Foxx, and LL Cool J, Justin Bill Bellamy. You got some great people in this, and it's a great movie. Aaron Eckhart, I completely forgot he was in it.
Yeah, I thought, when I first saw him, I thought, oh, it's Thomas Jane. I thought, oh, Thomas Jane's in this movie, because it really looks like him. And then I realized
Eckhart and Thomas Jane do have a similar look about them.
Yeah, because I didn't know Aaron Eckhart until obviously The Dark Knight. I didn't know of him, and then obviously he's there in the forefront, and now we know his name, but I didn't know of him before that. But so when I saw him in this, I just assumed it was Thomas Jane, even though I remember you telling me that Aaron Eckhart is in this movie, and I was just like, oh, it's Thomas Jane, it's the Punisher. But no, it wasn't. It was Aaron Eckhart.
So here's the quick synopsis, the storyline. When a devastating hit knocks a professional football legend and quarterback Cap Rooney out of a game, a young unknown third stringer is called to replace him, having ridden the bench for years because of a string of bad luck stories and perhaps insufficient character. William Beeman, aka Jamie Foxx. Talking about Jamie Foxx seizes what may be his last chance and lights up the field with raw display of athletic prowess. His stunning performance over several games is so outstanding and fresh, it seems to augur or bring in a new era in the history of this Miami franchise, and forces aging coach Tony D'Amato, aka our good friend Al Pacino, to reevaluate his time-tested values and strategies, and begins to confront the fact that the game, as well as postmodern life, may be passing him by. Adding to the pressure on D'Amato to win at any cost is the aggressive young president / co-owner of the team, Christina Paganatzi, which completely messed up that name, but it's played by Cameron Diaz. Now coming into her own after her father's death, Christina's driving desire to prove herself in an all-male dominated world is intensified by her focus on marketing and business of football, in which all coaches and players are merely properties. Such a fantastic movie. Really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things that I found wrong with it, but that's kind of what I do here, isn't it?
Well, that's part of your job. That's what I pay you for.
I find you don't pay me, only in those pictures you sent me, but we won't talk about those. Yeah, obviously I find the fault of it, and I kind of ram it into the ground, and I run with it and just ruin the whole movie for myself. But I think the only thing I really like annoyed, I mean, apart from the whole, oh, this coach is really old and he can't keep up with the modern game. It's the same game. It's just, yeah, obviously, like, you get new tactics, you get younger fans and all of this stuff, but it's still the same game. Like, I don't know a lot about American football, but I can imagine that in his, like, 30-year career, it hasn't changed that much. So
I have to disagree with you there.
Okay, again, I don't know. So that's
the thing. Like,
yeah,
I have to ask, do you watch European football?
Yes, and one, in fact, the majority of the greatest like managers and coaches in American football, soccer, are a lot older, and some of them have never even played the game. You know, Jose Mourinho is one. He used to manage Chelsea, Real Madrid, some of the biggest teams in the world.
Yeah.
And he has won trophies at every club, and he has won everything. He is mid to late 60s, and he never played the game. He literally started as a coach, but he still knows how to coach, and he does go with the times, but he still has his formula. That's what I mean. Like, it's I looked at this the same way. You know, Al Pacino's coach, yeah, he may have been around a long time. He still probably keeps up with the times and does change his formula slightly, but he's always going to stick to the basics. And because he's won before, he knows what he's doing. So that side of the story I didn't really understand, but not, you know, it's not like in a bad way. Like I thought, oh, this is stupid. It's more like I didn't understand it. And is that because American football is that different to what it was 20 years ago? Or
there is a change. So in American football, there is a changing of the style, because some teams will be more of a running team depending on if their quarterback is a strong quarterback or not.
Or you'll have already, but yeah, carry on.
So the quarterback is the dude who throws the ball.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Jamie Lee Foxx's character is the thrower of the ball. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
He throws the ball. I keep getting Jamie Lee Curtis and Jamie
I know.
Foxx.
I'm just going with it. It's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx's character.
They both look good topless, so it's good.
It's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx throws the ball. That's a quarterback. And then you have the offensive line that stops people from hurting the quarterback. You have running backs that do the running and catching. And there's a lot.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
So depending on how your quarterback plays, that will change how your style of play and the points is. And there's differences because teams always change their defensive style. And so you have to be able to, if you stay stuck with the same style, it won't work. Whereas like in European football, you have, and for anybody who's listening, I refuse to refer to it as soccer. It's European football. So European football, there's not much change in the strategy of the game because you have a limited number of players and it's actually played with your feet and not your hands. So the strategies and all that can stay relatively the same. It's like hockey. Like the strategies in hockey are pretty much basically the same. Football, it changes because you rely on like 1 to 2 people. Like you have Tom Brady and Gronkowski. Like you have those two in, you're guaranteed to win pretty much. You know, because Tom is like a missile. He's always on target. Whereas, you know, in football, you can have a Lionel Messi going, and you're like, well, we can try to stop him, but he's got like 4 other people can score. You know, like this is the thing. Like with football, it all depends on who your team is and like how strong your team is. So your strategies need to change over time, and you have to be able to be adaptable to it. Like us here in Montreal, we just got a new coach, and his style is vastly different than the previous coaches that we've had. And you can see it in how the players play and how they react to it.
You do get that a lot with our European football as well. Like when a new coach comes in, they do change tactics, and you know, you change up the team and the way they play. So that I do understand. So yeah, that's why I wasn't too focused on that aspect of the film, how they kind of want to get rid of him. Not so much get rid of him, but they're all against him because he's old and, you know, he doesn't really know what he's doing. But I think just that sort of plot line just upsets me because it's like the older the person is, the more knowledge they have, the wiser they are. So if anything, you want an old head. Like, yeah, it's all well and good going with a younger person who's up and coming, has got new, fresh ideas, but that old wise head is still there. They've been around a long time, so it's very hard to sort of pick which one is the best way to go with. Like, especially when it comes to sport, I barely know anything about. So
yeah, no, it all depends. Like sometimes you need that fresh blood to change up new ideas, because if you're using the same playbook and it's not working, you need to change it up. So
yeah, no, exactly. I understand that, because when it comes to like European football, it's the same thing. You know, a new coach will come in and they will change the tactics because they have fresher ideas. So, like the team that I support, Chelsea, we've had 20 managers in like the last 10 years. Like, they change them so much because, like you say, when something's not going quite right, they just chop and change. Like, I don't agree with it myself because it's too much. Normally, you have to give someone a chance to prove themselves. But yeah, I mean that part of the movie is not always the best for me, because it's like, oh, he's old, he doesn't know what he's doing. Can't see Kevin Smith.
I know. I'm trying to get Kevin Smith into the image here.
Yeah,
is that better? There we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, apart, I just thought it was funny at the end. Spoilers, when he's like, "Well, I'm going to another team." You know, he's like, it's almost like he was going to retire. You know, the whole movie you're watching him, and he's like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore. I've had enough." And then he's like, "No, fuck you, I'm going to this team over here." And I just thought, because that was in the credits, and I was sort of skipping through, and like they was holding a press conference, and I thought, oh, this isn't really that important. And I skipped a little bit, and then it got to that point where he's like, "Oh, and I've signed your star player as well." And I was like, "Yes, that is brilliant." Just the way everyone's like, "Oh, shit, what have we done?" They're like sort of happy and clapping, but they're like, "Oh no, what have we done?" And I just think it was hilarious, because he's like, I've still got tricks up my sleeve. And I just thought that was really funny.
No, it's a great movie. It's a great give me a second while I pour some water into my cup, because I'm thirsty. Because there's a lot of thirst traps in this movie. Jesus, is there a lot of thirst traps in this movie at points? Did your wife watch this? Did the wife watch this?
No, she was at work while I was watching this. Luckily, no one else saw it as well, because I did not see that coming at all. It threw me, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, you'd expect it in a locker room, but I didn't think they'd actually show it.
Yeah.
For anyone wondering, there is a full frontal nudity scene of a very giant football player, and he is very big. He's a big guy.
He is a massive man and makes everyone else feel tiny.
Yeah, quite inadequate. And it's just him standing in front of Cameron Diaz as well, just nude. And I was just like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And I wanted to be that man, but I would not be able to live up to those expectations. So yeah, it was crazy. That came out of nowhere, and I really was not expecting that. It was funny.
Give me a second here. Yeah. I'm just gonna bring up something, because we are going to be sharing a scene in the movie. Not yet. Remove.
Yeah, I was going to say, please don't put that picture up yet. Because...
No, that is no. This is a PG, family-friendly movie. We're going to actually play a clip. Something that's super inspirational. I really love.
Yeah, it actually got to me, like, on an emotional level, and I was like, "This is like." On a side note, I don't hate Al Pacino. I just want to make that clear. I've never really liked him that much. Like, I like movies that he's in, and he is a good actor. But there's just something about, he's just one of those actors that I'm just like, I don't really care. Like, I get why everyone loves him. He is a good actor. Again, I'm not discrediting any of his work. It's just,
he's just not an actor that tickles your fancy.
Yeah, just something about, like, I've never even seen Scarface. Like, and that's one of those.
God.
I know it's one of those movies that I know I have to see, but there's just something about it that I don't like. But again, there's movies that he's in that I really enjoy, you know, like this and The Devil's Advocate. Love that movie. But
Scent of a Woman is another amazing movie he's in.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I actually managed to enjoy him in this movie because he didn't really Al Pacino it. He did a little bit during this speech.
Yeah.
You know what I mean when I do the air quotes and the Al Pacino, like, he does it a little bit. But yeah, he didn't do it a lot during this movie, so I was okay with it. I even really like the fact that he nearly had a relationship with Jesse from Saved by the Bell. That was interesting.
We're gonna play the clip. Not the nearly relationship with Jesse, but
the locker room one, a different locker room scene.
Different locker room scene.
Yeah.
This is I think this is near the end, right? The last game of the season or something like that.
This was this half time or before no, it's before the game. It was 3 minutes before the game, and he just gives his speech and he's like, listen, and it hits you.
So we're gonna shut up. I'm bringing it up on screen. So if you're watching this, should I do it the full screen? Nah, I want to see your reaction to this. So we're playing the clip. It's called the Al Pacino interest speech, and it's phenomenal. So we're gonna shut up and listen to this.
I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't? Damn it.
Can you hear it? Oh,
I hear it. I don't know if the audience will hear it. I'm at max volume. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Maybe this. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Can you hear it? No?
Nope.
Oh, anyways.
It's a good speech.
It's a great speech. Why
Read
can't
it.
you hear it?
I
Do you want me to read it? Yeah, I'll read it. Fuck it. I'm going to read it.
Yeah, read it out.
Any Sunday speech.
You've got to do it in his voice, though.
Not happening. There, text. Here we go. Hoo-ah!
Hoo-ah!
All right. I don't know what to say, really. Okay. I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes till the biggest battle of our professional lives all come down to today. Now, either we heal as a team or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we finished. We're in hell now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell 1 inch at a time. Now, you can do it. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. That's part of life. But you can only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin of error is so small. One half step. One half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. One half second is too slow, too fast. You don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch because we know when we add up all the inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing, between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch, because that's what's living for. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who's willing to go get that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team or we die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's it. Now, what are you going to do? So, and imagine, there's so much male testosterone in that speech, but I love it.
Yeah, it's really powerful, and like a lot of it, I was going to say a lot of it.
I'm disappointed you can't hear it. God damn it.
Yeah, that's fine. I watched it like an hour ago. It's fine. It's all good. I can still hear his voice in my head. It's okay. I really get it. And what's great about that speech as well is he was at loggerheads with Jamie Foxx's character throughout the movie, and the way just Jamie Foxx doesn't even say anything, but it's just the way he sort of stands up and he inches closer, doesn't he, during that speech because he wants to hear it. Like he can hear it, but he really wants to hear it, and he
wants to be a part of it.
Close. Yeah, and you can see that switch flicking in his head. Like I've been an arsehole, and I need to really join this team because the other problem I had with the movie is his escalation from being a nobody to this big shot to suddenly realizing the error of his ways. Like I don't know the length of this. I don't know the span of the timeline of this movie. It could be weeks, it could be months. I don't. It
is a few months. It's if I'm not mistaken, the season starts in October and goes until February.
Yeah, because I know they were 3 games away from the playoffs.
So that means they're in January.
Do they play every Sunday?
Yeah, nearly every Sunday. There is a bye week, so every team gets what's called a bye week, which means they don't have to play that week.
Okay, so at most, it's the span of the timeline is about 5 weeks. Okay, so I get it. Like he comes from this nobody, he finds notoriety because he's suddenly very popular, and he starts becoming rich.
There's 17 games. A team plays 17 games during an 18-week period with 1 bye week off.
Yeah, because like they say, they were 3 games from the playoffs. So to me, that's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So and then you get the playoff, which is 4. Take 1 away, that's 5. So roughly.
No, playoffs have no bye week. Playoffs have no bye week. They go every week.
Okay, well, so a month then, roughly.
Yeah, it's about a month to a month and a half, we'll say.
So it kind of makes sense, and he gets rich and famous. He becomes this big, big dick sort of person. Like his
ego balloons too big.
Yeah, it gets but it's so rapid because even like his partner, she I think she says they've been together like 8 years or something, and he's just like, nope. They have one little argument, and he just gets rid of her. He's just like, well, get out then. And it's like, dude, that is rapid. That's one of the little things I didn't like about the movie, because it wasn't like, oh, we have an argument, she leaves, she comes back, they have a conversation, and he's like, look, I don't really need you. I'm over here now, you're over there. It was right, get out then. And that was it until they kind of reconcile a bit later on. But his escalation with that ego was just so rapid. I didn't like that. Because if you say that this was the timeline's about 4 weeks, that is so rapid for that ego to build. And after 2 or 3 games, no one's ego can build that quickly. If it was across a whole season, I could have bought that, but it was 3 games, and it's just, to me, that was just too much too quickly. So if they'd have pulled it back and done it over the space of a season, maybe, the first game, the 2 quarterbacks get injured, he has to come in, and then, over the months, he becomes this ego-driven arsehole. Yeah. But he does it in the space of a month, and to me, that's just too rapid. So I didn't really like that aspect. If they just stretched it out a bit more. I get it, because I think they said that he started in college playing football and he was really good, but then I think they said he stole a suit or something, or he borrowed a suit, and they blamed him for stealing it, and then he went down the leagues and he had to kind of start from the bottom again. So I get that he's been waiting for his chance, and that ego's probably always been there, but he's been beaten out of him, and it could come out very rapidly. But yeah, over a space of 4 weeks, I think that's way too much too soon. Like the fame to get to someone. That's one of the things I found wrong with this movie. Like the story's good and it's all fine, but because it all happens so quickly, it's just a bit strange.
Yeah, no, the rap. I think it's kind of like a commentary on the egos of footballers or sports people.
Any sports entertainer or any entertainer across the world, actors, singers, sports stars, anyone, if they don't have it in check, that ego can get very big very quickly. It doesn't, you do see it. It doesn't happen to all of them, but you do see it a lot. And I get that it's commentary on that, but it's just the fact that it happens so quickly.
Yeah, no, it's kind of ridiculous how quickly. And you obviously, when you do get thrown into the spotlight, like he was, you have two reactions. You need to have people around you that's going to keep you humble. That's why I always chill. I love talking with you. You keep me as humble pie. And I have other people that do that. But some people who have just yes people around them, and they're just like, I'm just hanging on because you're right now the hottest thing in the market. And I think it doesn't help that, like,
yeah, like I get that he did have that, but at the same time, he also had his girlfriend, who, yes, he did chuck very quickly, but she was there sort of saying, don't be this person.
Yeah.
His mother, you don't see her until the very end, but she strikes me as a sort of mum that would put him in check very quickly.
Wooden spoon the hell out of him.
Yeah, like she seemed like a very God-fearing kind of woman, and she would do that. And also his teammates, none of them liked him really much anyway. And the fact that they all turned on him very quickly as well, surely that would have given him some indication to not be a dick. You know, there, as many yes people as he had around him, there wasn't even that many, really. You know, it was Cameron Diaz, his character, sort of like, yeah, let's do this. And a couple of other people were like, oh, you're quite good. And, you know, let's make a rap song, or for some reason. That came out of nowhere.
If it was a full season, I could understand the ego getting there. But it's like you have like 5 weeks. Like that's a lot of ego to have.
There was a sponsorship deal. There was commercials. There was, like I say, that rap song or song that he did. In 4 weeks, that would not happen. And like again, I can imagine all of that thrown at you, it would build that ego up. But that's too much in the space of a month. Like that's just crazy. And yeah, even his teammates didn't like him. So surely that should have been some kind of indication.
No, this movie is a fun. It's a fun movie.
I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it a lot more than what I thought I was going to, because I had no.
We were supposed to record this episode last week, except I was sick as a dog. I didn't feel well, and then you're like, "Thank God."
Yeah, because I honestly I did not know what I was going to expect. I was not looking forward to watching this movie again, because I don't dislike American football, but when a movie's centered around that, I really have to get involved. And you know, again, Al Pacino, I'm not the greatest fan of, so I was just like, what am I expecting? But I actually, again, really enjoyed this a lot more than what I thought I was going to. It's still like, again, I don't think I'd ever watch it again, but I enjoyed it enough where I was like, okay, that was good. I came out of this movie entertained, and I watched it all the way through. Normally I split movies up throughout the day. To be fair, I kind of forgot that it was Wednesday. So when you messaged me and it was like, here's the link for tonight, I was like, oh shit, it's Wednesday. I honestly thought it was Tuesday all day. And then like I kind of panicked. So I watched it, and the plan was to kind of split it up throughout the evening. But yeah, I watched it all in one sitting pretty much, give or take a few pauses here and there. But yeah, I enjoyed it enough where I had sat through the whole. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes long as well.
Give me a second.
And
it's 2 hours and 42 minutes.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and I sat through all of that without really getting bored. So that's a testament to how good this movie is. Even though I'm not giving it a big raving review, but I enjoyed it enough where I sat through a nearly 3 hour movie and didn't even realize. That's crazy. 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a long ass movie. It's a good movie, but yeah, it's an Oliver Stone. What are you expecting, right?
Yeah, no, I get that, and yeah, but it's good. I liked it, so yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up. Yeah.
All right, we're coming to the end here. Since I'm watching this in nostalgic mode, so I'm giving the nostalgic rating here.
Mm-hmm.
What is your nostalgic rating of this movie?
What if I'd watched it in?
Sorry, no.
Yeah, no,
what is your regular rating of this movie, since it's the first time you're watching this movie?
I'll give it a 7, because again, I didn't realize how long it was until you just said. I knew it was a long movie, but the fact that I sat through all of it and enjoyed it enough gives it a 7. I just think that because of all the things that I've said, you know, the certain story points and the fact that I'm not really into American football or Al Pacino, even though he was good in this and I did enjoy the action of the game, it's still not anywhere near a 10. So I'm going to stick with 7.
Okay. I'm going to give this an 8 because it's the nostalgic factor. Just watching it, I love football. I love watching football because it's a fun sport to watch, or American football as it is. Not so much European, but I didn't grow up with European football.
Yeah.
So I'm giving this like an 8 because the speeches are pretty friggin' awesome in this movie. You get this like kind of like behind the scenes of what it's like to be football, whether or not it's true. And just because Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx have such a great chemistry in this movie, I love it. I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you said, but I just still I have problems with it. But
it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. I'm not going to announce
what everything. So
yeah, I'm not going to announce what movie we're doing next week because we still need to have a discussion because you're supposed to do Nostalgic Factor next week.
Yes, but we're going by an actor that's in this movie that needs to be in the next movie. Yeah.
I have the movie that we're supposed to watch. I'm gonna after the show we're gonna confer. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. Let us know what you thought of Any Given Sunday. Is it great? Is it bad? What you like? Head over to our Instagram, Feel Better Show, or the Feel Better Show on Instagram. Let us know on the caption of the photo when this is released. Tell us what you thought of Any Given Sunday. Aaron, where can they find you if they want to connect with you?
It's Aaron Talks Films across the board. It is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify. I really need to get back into my podcast and my YouTube, don't I? That's my plan. I've got goals for this year. Every month I'm reaching certain goals, and one of them is to finally get that kick up the arse and get back to doing my my YouTube and my podcasting, which I do miss tremendously. So yeah, but YouTube and Spotify and all the other social media platforms is Aaron Talks Films.
There we go. And of course, you can always find us, the show, at the Feel Better Show on all social media platforms. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe anyone that you choose. We love the support. Hit us up, letting us know what you guys thought of the movie. And as always, remember to stay hydrated, folks.
And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
We are so glad you came. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye now. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
So long, partner. In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
I'll be back.